Good morning. It is Sunday, December 5th, 2021, and I woke up to this. Everything is covered with snow, and I think it might still be coming down. I think it is very, very lately still coming down. Now here's the thing. Another problem with this house. It's not that much. I mean, you can still see like the grass kind of poking through there, but the driveway's over there, and then all of that is sidewalk. We live on a corner to the street sign there, and then the front steps and the front path where the mailman has to walk, and all the way back. It's a long house. And back here, sidewalk goes all the way back there, and the driveway is pretty long, and then this is all patio that goes all the way around the back of the house. You can see it blowing. It's quite windy. I don't know if you can see that snow blowing. And the trees. I could hear the wind upstairs, and like the windows were rattling a little bit. See the snow blowing through the air there? Yeah. I actually think that's really pretty. Makes for horrible visibility when you're driving like on the highway though, when snow is blowing like that. So anyway, yeah, it's a wintry day in Wisconsin. But now here's the thing. When we get enough snow like this that it's not enough to be snow blowed, which my neighbor would do for me, but it is enough that it does need to be shoveled. You have to shovel your sidewalks here. You have to keep them clear. And especially where we live, we're very close to the schools. There's an elementary school, the middle school, and the high school are all within walking distance of our house. And we have lots of school students who walk by, and just lots of people from the neighborhood. I mean, we have probably 100 some people a day walk by our house every day on our sidewalks, just walking their dogs and stuff. And so we have to keep our sidewalks clear. And that's not something I can do right now. First of all, I'm not supposed to shovel. That's one of those grippy things that my cardiologist really doesn't want me doing because of my heart. The combination of gripping and exertion. So that's like rowing, shoveling, anything you think where you have to use grip strength and you have to use physical exertion. I'm not supposed to do it all. I've shoveled a lot since we've lived in this house because out of necessity, but I'm not supposed to be doing that. And it freaks Megan out if I do it because she's so scared something's going to happen to me. Megan can do it to some degree, but for the most part, what's going to happen is my dad's probably going to have to come over here and shovel for us. And again, my dad is almost 80. He can do it and he's very fast and efficient at it, but I feel really bad about that. So that's another reason I really want to get out of this house. I want this to be the last winter we spend here because of the whole shoveling, snow clearing issue. I also want to point out that the house across the street is for sale. I might have mentioned this earlier. This house here is for sale. Now, there's about 5, 6 houses. The one, not our neighbor's house behind us, but the one across the street from them is for sale. That brown house on that corner just sold. It was for sale and they have a new owner. This house across the street from us, the yellow one, just sold. We have yet to see the people who bought it. The people who lived there before were very active. They had a dog. They were outside all the time. We knew them very well. She taught piano lessons, so there were kids coming over for piano lessons all the time. And they're gone now. And whoever the new people are, we've never seen them. And the house is like always completely dark. So it's really kind of freaky. There are 5 houses that I can think of. There's 2 more down the street here, down our street, on the same side of the street as us. Yeah, the one behind us, the one across the street. Yeah, so there's 3 on this side and like a couple that way. 5 houses within like 2 blocks of us that are for sale. And they've been for sale for a while, like months. And that really concerns me. And I don't know if that's a time of year thing, They say that's a myth, that it really doesn't matter what time of year you put your house up for sale because people are always looking for houses at different times. But supposedly it's a seller's market, and supposedly there's not enough inventory, and everybody's houses are selling like hotcakes and really, really fast, which is what I'm going to need to happen for this house to sell. But I don't know if that's true, because these houses in our neighborhood sit for a long time, and that really concerns me, especially given the condition that my house is in and that I can't afford to make any improvements or fix anything right now. I'm very nervous that it might take a long time for our house to sell, and we're going to need that money. We need to get out of here, first of all, and also we're going to need that money for Megan to go to college. And I'm probably going to need that money to pay for a place to rent, because I don't know what's happening with our income. So I'm kind of concerned about that. Every time a house goes up for sale in our neighborhood, I look at the listing, and I still think they're asking too much. I mean, I just don't understand. It almost seems greedy to me. And I really wonder how much of that is on the realtor, which is one of the reasons I really don't want to deal with a realtor. I think that they price things way too high. I mean, all of these houses in our neighborhood, some of which are way smaller than ours, are listed for way over $200,000. I paid $117,900 for this house 18 years ago. So yeah, okay, it's increased in value, and my property taxes have gone way up because the latest assessment made it go way up in value, but which I wasn't happy about. But I still, to get double or more, some of these people got to be getting double, triple what they paid for their house. And I just don't think that's right. I don't know. It really kind of bothers me. I mean, for me, as long as I get enough to pay off my mortgage and, hopefully pay for college for Megan and have a little bit left over maybe, that's all I need. And I wouldn't need it to be priced anywhere near what these people are asking for these houses for it to be that. So I just kind of have a moral problem with that. I feel like it's a little bit, I don't know. I don't understand the whole housing market thing, and a lot of things about it really, really bother me. Because the other thing that I keep reading about is, yeah, you can sell your house right now for way more than you paid for it and get all this money. But then are you going to be able to find another house to move to? For people that want to buy another house, they're going to be priced out of the market too, and they're not going to be able to move. So the advice it's giving to people is don't sell your house if you can't afford another one, if you want to buy another house. Now for us, we don't want to buy another house, but we wouldn't be in that position. But I feel like that's making it very difficult for people to be able to move who want to. Yeah, maybe they'll be able to get a lot of money for their house, but is that going to be enough money for them to buy another house? I wanted to point out that all of the presents are under the Christmas tree now. Well, let me clarify. These are all of the presents to the kids from me. I buy each of my kids 3 gifts. So that would be 9 of those. And then the kids each buy each other 1 gift. And then each kid buys 1 gift for me. And I am proud to say that my children bought all their own gifts this year. Not sure if they did that last year, but I know Megan probably did. I'm not sure about Ben. They now all spend their own money. Ben has his own income. He's actually the only one. He's the only one in our household that actually has a monthly income from a job. Ben makes ad revenue off of his YouTube channel, and he bought his own gifts. And Megan still has some savings left from when she had a job 2 summers ago, and money that she had saved up for her France and Switzerland trip that she ended up not getting back because she didn't get to go to France and Switzerland because of the pandemic. And she still has some money in savings, although it's getting low. She's hoping after she graduates to get a job so she can start having some income again. But anyway, the only ones that are missing then from under this tree are Megan still has my presents to wrap. Her present for me from her and her present to me from Ben are hidden in her room somewhere, and she says she still has to wrap those. And then when Andrew comes, hopefully, he remembers to buy gifts for his mom and his brother and his sister. I do have 2 more gifts here. These are from my parents, and we wrapped them. They're the same thing. I always get my parents basically the same thing. I mean, they're the same but different. Let me put it that way. But the envelopes I got, because I was going to mail them, are way too big. But I don't know. I might still mail them. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to mail them or if we'll see my parents or what. Here's our Christmas cards. I always get these from Shutterfly. I showed you our Christmas cards last year too. This was a day in July, late July, when Andrew came home. He actually went to play an all-day board game with his really good friend that lives next door and his dad, and came over for a little while, and we took this picture. And then on the back, that is a picture I took of the 3 kids at Andrew's university when we were there for the tour, when Megan toured it. And then I always write some stuff. I already sent my Christmas cards out. My Christmas cards have already gone out. I have just a few left, and I have Santa stamps. I send them to everyone in my family, on both sides of my family. And then I send them to a few close friends, neighbors, people that aren't necessarily on social media. And then I always get a few extra so that I can mail one out to anybody that sends us one that we didn't send one to originally, which every once in a while you get a surprise one like that. And then over here in this red binder, I keep all our Christmas cards, 1 copy of each of them, all the ones I've ever had. Did I show you guys this last year? Ugh, don't want to show the X. Yeah, so like, they're just in here like this. And if they had a front and a back, I put in 2 copies so I can show the front and the back. And I save a copy from every year. Christmas 2 years ago and last year. And I already put in this year's. So that's just a nice idea if you want to have a way to save your Christmas cards from year to year. A couple of movies we just watched. Megan just watched Cloud Atlas last night, which I've never seen and have no desire to see. She watched it by herself. She said it was good when I checked in with her. And then we watched the Thomas Crown Affair again, the newer version, which I had Megan watch with me a while back, but she said she didn't appreciate it. And we've had a few movies like that we've been renting lately and watching that we get from the library. Your library has DVDs, by the way, if you still have a working DVD player. Because not everything is on streaming. And she says now that she's older, because she's, 17, she says some of these movies I had her watch when she was younger, she didn't appreciate at the time. Like, she didn't fully follow it or get it or whatever. And now she likes watching them. How many of you still have a DVD player in your house? A working DVD player? We actually have 2 DVD players, but here's the problem. The one out here in the living room, we can't hook up to the TV. The TV does not have anything that we can plug into to connect it to the DVD player. I mean, I suppose I could check again to see if maybe they've come up with some kind of adapter, but I don't think so. I think the only thing we can plug into there is where we have the Roku stick plugged in, and it's like a USB. The one in the den, we have some kind of special adapter things with the red and yellow cords that we've got it plugged into in there. But here's the thing with streaming. Okay, what streaming services do you guys have? I only pay for 3 things. We have a Roku stick in each TV. The one out here, I have an extra special long distance Roku stick because it's so far in the house back to where the Wi-Fi, to where the modem is, that it wasn't getting good signal, so I had to upgrade it to a little different kind of Roku stick. And even with that, it's very noticeable. The one in the den is much more responsive and faster than the one out here. It's got kind of a delay. But I pay for 3 things. I pay for Disney Plus, and I'm on the annual. So I pay for it once a year. And I talked about that in a recent video, that it just renewed for like 84 something, 82 something a year, which comes down to like $7 a month, which is not bad at all. And then I pay for Hulu with no commercials, which I think is like $12 a month. 12, 13. And then I pay for Paramount Plus with no commercials, which is 10 something a month. And that's all I pay for. I refuse to get every streaming service under the sun and a whole bunch of extra stuff. You know, it's tempting sometimes. Once in a while, we'll see something that we want to watch, and it's on Netflix, or it's on HBO, or it's on Apple TV, or whatever. And, you know, you think, oh, I should get that so I can watch it. Okay, don't do that. Because, I mean, the whole reason we went to streaming was because we had Dish before. And Dish had gotten so expensive, it was almost $200 a month. And that's ridiculous. And there was a zillion channels we never watched. We only watched like 5 shows. It was dumb. And so I went to streaming, and now I pay what? I'm paying $30 a month, maybe. Total. $29, $30 a month for the 3 streaming services. I'm not going to go any higher than that. And you shouldn't either. I think for a lot of people, they get sucked into this, oh, I'm saving so much money by cutting the cord. But then they get like 16 streaming services. Yeah, help out your poor college student or graduate student by not making them pay for their own streaming services. And also, I also pay for Andrew's cell phone. Now, my cell phone bill is very expensive. It's almost $300 a month. It's my 3rd largest bill. My bills in order are the student loan. Don't get me started. The student loan, which I can do nothing with because of my ex-husband. I think I've talked about this before. Long story. Don't ever consolidate a loan with your spouse. Ever, ever, ever. It can never be separated. The loan is by far the biggest. It is huge. It is way bigger than anything else I pay. Second is my mortgage. And third is my cell phone bill. Those are my 3 biggest bills. They drop about $300 between the 3. It's $900, $700, almost $300. Those are my top 3 bills. I don't know anybody, including my own parents, who takes the pandemic as seriously as we do, and who is dead focused on not contracting the virus at all, ever. So that's kind of a problem, too. I mean, my mom is isolated at home in her apartment, and she works from home. She is very careful, but she's done a couple things. A couple times she's told me things that I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not a good idea. And I don't think it like occurred to her. Or I don't know, or she didn't realize that was past my comfort point. And then my dad works at Walmart and is in the public all the time. And he says he takes it as seriously as we do, but he goes to church where nobody's wearing masks, and we've physically witnessed him standing a foot away from unvaccinated people talking for extended periods of time, and he eats inside restaurants with unvaccinated people and nobody wearing masks and stuff like that. He might be okay, but he could still carry it and bring it to us. And so that's something that we're very concerned about. The thing I'm finding during the pandemic is I just don't trust anybody. I know what I do, and I know what Megan and Ben do. But other than that, I don't trust anybody. And they'll tell me, oh yeah, I'm being super careful. I don't believe you. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. Because I've seen, or like they've accidentally admitted, or whatever, that they're not being as careful as we are. And some people might think I'm being super, super cautious, but here's the thing. I'm a single mom with a serious heart condition, and my kids don't have anybody but me. I would not have them go to my parents. They would hate that, and my parents are too old, honestly, and not in a position to care for teenagers. Andrew's not in a position right now where he could take care of his brother and sister because he's in law school. So I'm not going to risk anything happening to me. That's why I'm so careful. I'm not going to leave them in the position where anything happens to me, and that includes even me having to be in the hospital even one day. That would be too much. Megan can't drive. We're very dependent on each other, and that's why we're so careful during the pandemic.
Here at the bottom of the stairs, I have our family photo calendar, and this picture is from Christmas 2019. And I make a family photo calendar every year, and I just made next year's yesterday. And I also order these from Shutterfly, and I think I talked about this last year too. I make a family photo calendar with just family pictures, and then I make a travel photo calendar with pictures from our trips that we took that year. Okay, going up, I can do fine. It's just going down. Here on the stairs, we always have some kind of travel-related world calendar. This one is something from National Geographic, and next year's is Europe. I already have it. Here's what I'm reading right now. This is by the same author of a book I read earlier in the month called The Christmas Bookshop, which I enjoyed a lot. This is an older book of hers, and it's actually number 3 in a series. And I also got number 4. This is number 4 in the series, just in case I finish that one before my next book comes. In my room, I always have a lighthouse calendar. I love lighthouses. And this is this month's, and I always get a new lighthouse calendar. I love lighthouses. And here you can see on my blanket, I have lighthouses. And on my light switch, I have a lighthouse. And on my garbage can, I have a lighthouse. Okay, but today is a tricky downstairs day. Yesterday, I went up and down too many times. Megan was helping me fold the presents, helping me wrap the presents, and she was also doing laundry, and I had to come down and help fold laundry, and so my ankle was really, really sore yesterday and very swollen by the time we went to bed. All right, I'm at my computer now doing my regular morning stuff. Ben is at his computer. Ben got up early Friday and Saturday purposely because he's waiting for Bloxburg and Roblox to update with their Christmas season update so he can make a video about it, and he wants to make sure he catches it right away because, you know, if it update video, he wants to get it up as quickly as possible. Well, it didn't update yesterday, it didn't update Friday, and now it didn't update again today. So he's really hoping, like, he doesn't want to have to keep getting up early to check if it updated overnight, and so that's kind of a bummer. If you haven't checked out Ben's channel, be sure to check out Ben's channel. I am right now working on my YouTube video schedule because, once again, I'm making this video, this Life at Home vlog, on kind of a whim. Basically because I wanted to show you that it had snowed, and I wanted to show you that we have wrapped presents under our Christmas tree, and there were just a few like life things I wanted to update you on. And so now I'm kind of tweaking my schedule with when I'm going to release videos. If you haven't watched it yet, be sure to watch my 1-year update on my ankle video that just released this weekend. Not good things to report, but I do want to give you one update, which is that my mom knows someone who I think is currently receiving disability, who used a company to help them file for disability through Social Security. And basically what I've ascertained it actually is, it's actually a law firm that specializes in disability claims. And similar to personal injury lawyers who don't get paid unless you get paid, they don't charge their clients anything unless they get money for them. So I was really apprehensive about using something like that, but because I can't seem to get my questions answered and because my doctor was no help. Oh, by the way, also an update from that video. I did message my doctor on the message system and said I didn't feel comfortable waiting in the clinic that long, especially since the clinic is obviously not enforcing mask use. And, you know, I just didn't, you know, an hour past your appointment, there's no reason anybody with an appointment should have to wait that long. And who knows if she even would have come anytime soon after that. And then I said, I just wanted the answers to these couple of questions about filing for disability. And she responded to me like the next day, and she apologized for the long waits.
it was very clear from her message that even if I had gotten to see her that day, it would have been completely pointless, because she obviously knows nothing about Social Security or disability benefits, because what she said in there, I know isn't right. She said, I don't think you'd qualify for disability because you only have one bad ankle and you could just work a desk job. And that's not how it works. The whole thing is, if you can't work the job that you had anymore because of what happened to you and because of the disability, I think that's right. And the other thing I know why that's not right is because my cousin's husband, who has received disability benefits for many, many years, he does work. And and she told me, my cousin told me, his wife, that they encourage you to work. So it's not that you can't work, period. So I still don't completely understand it, but it's not just about can you work at all. That's not the gist. And she obviously didn't know that. And so she wouldn't have been any help to me anyway. And I'd like to just also throw in, oh, great, if I could get a desk job, that'd be fantastic. But I've been applying for those for years and haven't had any luck. So that doesn't really help me. After I got her message and realized she didn't have any clue what she was talking about and wouldn't have been any help to me either, I went ahead and contacted that firm that my mom had told me about. They're very professional and they're very nice. It's a nationwide thing. And but the people I was talking to are in Minnesota. I was on the phone, unfortunately, for about 2.5 hours going through the whole process of everything. I had to talk to 2 different people. At first, I talked to a gentleman who kind of screened me to figure out if I was even possibly eligible, determined that, and then put me on hold while he checked with the legal department and came back and said, okay, yes, we're going to move you to the next step of the process. And then she was basically taking all the information, and they're actually going to apply on my behalf for both Social Security Disability and SSI, because based on my income, I should qualify for that too. I don't know how all of this works. That's why I'm letting them handle it. So I will keep you updated on how that goes. Well, what I was going to say is that second person I talked to, the lady, she was super nice, but she was very chatty. And she kind of got off track quite a few times. And so that's part of why it took so long. That's in process. And so I just have to wait now and see what happens. I have heard from multiple people that I've talked to that many disability claims are denied the first time, and that you can appeal up to 3 times. And I think my mom said she knew someone who did appeal all 3 times and then finally got it. And my cousin told me that too. She said that her husband got denied the first time too. And so not to give up, to just stick with it and keep appealing until you exhaust the appeals, because it's just a weird process or whatever, and that's kind of how it works. So I just really hope I don't have to go to court. Having to do the unemployment appeal that I had to do this past summer, which I won, by the way. I didn't have to pay the money back. Yay! The judge determined that it was unemployment's mistake, and therefore it wasn't my fault, which is what I said. So yay! So that too, if you have a problem with unemployment and they offer you, appeal it. Always appeal it. If they make a decision against you and say you have to pay money back or something, or you don't get unemployment, appeal it, because I did, and I'm glad I did, because I didn't have to pay back like almost $9,000. So that would have been a real problem if I had had to pay that money back. So, because I didn't have it anymore. I also wanted to update you on what's happening with the kids with school. Ben is done. Ben is all done with all his classes for first semester. We had to wait a little bit on his math final because we didn't have the password and his teacher was on vacation. So we just took the math final last week. They've actually closed out his 4 classes. So he will now have a nice 7-week break until after we get back from Disney, where he doesn't have to do any school. Now Megan, because she's on quarters, and so they're basically doing a whole 4 classes each quarter. So it's like they're doing half the classes of a semester a quarter at a time. That's how block scheduling works, if you're not familiar with that. And they switch every quarter. She had 4 basically full semester classes first quarter, and now she has 4 basically full semester classes second quarter. And she's reached her midterms. So she's halfway through her classes, and she has 6 weeks
So that's 30 days. She has 30 school days left to finish the rest of her classes, which again is Japanese, astronomy, world religions, and forensic science. And then she's done and she graduates. And then we will be heading on our Disney trip to celebrate Megan's graduation, and the pandemic better not mess that up. Okay. Stay tuned. In January, I will be putting out a couple different videos about what exactly our Disney plans are with more details. I might have to just do one video a week in January because I might not have other content to do for you unless I do another life at home vlog or something for you. Okay, I've gotten to the weather and there is a wind advisory. Oh, for tonight, from 9 p.m. tonight until 9 a.m. tomorrow, northwest winds from 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts of up to 45 miles per hour expected. It says gusty winds could blow around unsecured objects, tree limbs could be blown down, and a few power outages may result. We usually do, whenever there's big wind like that, we have a couple trees that always lose a few branches, so something I will have to be aware of. Okay, so now I'm checking when it's supposed to stop snowing. Oh, shoot. It's supposed to snow. Oh, it's snowing now, and it's supposed to keep snowing until like through 1 o'clock this afternoon. And then there's going to be a little break, but then it's supposed to start snowing again at 3 and then stop. But then it's supposed to start snowing again at 11 tonight and snow until like 2 a.m. Okay. And tomorrow, oh my goodness, is tomorrow cold? Holy moly. It's going to get, okay, that wind is going to come. It shows windy starting at like 3 a.m. And that wind must be blowing in a cold front because, and that's usually, for those of you who don't live in a northern climate like we do, that's a typical winter pattern. We will get snow. So the weather moves in and it'll be clouds and heavy with snow, and we will get snow. And then after the snow, it will be very, very cold. And so that's the typical weather pattern in a northern climate like ours. It can't be, a lot of people don't understand this, but it can't be super, super cold for snow. Snow needs, you're going to see like just below freezing and down into the 20s is the temperature for snow. Now, if it gets above freezing, it's not going to be snow. It's going to be rain or maybe sleet or, freezing, like ice. And you don't like that. That's like the worst because then it gets slippery for walking and driving, and that's the worst. You want it to be below freezing when it precipitates in the winter here. But now it's going to stop snowing at 1 a.m. and it'll be 28 degrees, and then it's going to plummet. And by 7 a.m. it's going to be 18 degrees. So this is tomorrow. And by 5 p.m. it's only going to be 9 degrees. And it keeps dropping. It's going to be 2 degrees overnight tomorrow night. So it's very cold. That is the type of weather that I leave a faucet running because you don't want your pipes to freeze. I mean, maybe but with that wind, it could get well below zero, and then you're looking at some dangerously cold temperatures. So, and then, yeah, even at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, it's still only going to be 12. So if you're not used to weather like this, I mean, we're very used to this. This is how it is. But that's a very typical thing is we'll get snow and then it'll be very, very cold. And that can be tricky sometimes because if you get a lot of snow and you need to clear it, if you get like 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 inches, 2 feet or something of snow, which we do, and you need to clear that, but you can't get out there. It's a balancing act. You don't want to clear your snow until it stops snowing because you're just going to have to go out and do it again. Okay, I always like to, and that's what I was checking right now because I was going to tell my dad, don't come until it stops snowing, but I can't really tell when that's going to be. Because it's really a pain if you spend an hour, 2 hours, and tons of physical exertion clearing your snow, and then an hour later it starts snowing again and you got to go do it all again. That's awful. But you don't want to wait too long
because if you also don't want to be outside trying to shovel or snowblow or anything in those super frigid sub-zero temperatures with a wind chill, because that's dangerous. You can actually get frostbite in a matter of minutes or seconds. You can get hypothermia and die. And so you have to be very careful with dealing with the winter. I mean, we've lived here all our lives, and so we're used to it, and you just kind of instinctively know what to do after a while. But people, it happens all the time. People, have heart attacks because they were shoveling, or they die, or they, oh my gosh, shoot, I missed it, but the wind was blowing the snow off the garage roof there. Look at our garage, isn't it sad? And it was just a big cloud of snow. So it's quite windy, and apparently it's only going to get windier. Sadly, every year people do succumb to the elements. And I looked it up one time, and I don't remember what I found out. I looked it up to find out if more people die every year from cold or if more people die every year from heat. I hate heat. I hate being hot, and when it's hot, I feel physically ill. And I really struggle with heat and humidity, and unfortunately the world is getting hotter all the time. But cold is fast. I mean, heat too. I mean, you can succumb to extremes in temperature a lot faster than you think you can. And sometimes people just aren't smart about it. And the other thing I worry about a lot is the homeless population. I worry about all the homeless people. Even here in our community, there's a lot of homeless. And we have a bunch of churches in our town that have worked together to build tiny homes for the homeless people. And behind many of the churches in our town, you'll see these little tiny homes so that they provide a shelter for homeless people, because we had a homeless shelter, and then it closed or something. And I don't know, it can be really challenging for homeless people to find a place to take shelter. And, you can freeze to death quite quickly with housing. Not having air conditioning in the summer when it gets really hot, I think is a more likely scenario for most people in the world in general, I think, and not being able to escape the heat. Like, I'm thinking of like checking on your elderly relatives and neighbors and things like that. Everybody around us is going to have heat. I mean, every house in this area, but you do need to be careful to maintain your furnace. I have not had the furnace serviced this year. I've had it serviced almost every year we've lived in the house. And the guy who came last year, I think, did a bang up extra good job, because that was right before I fell, if you remember. And he was down there a really long time. And I think he took all the pipes apart and redid everything. And so I'm not terribly worried about it. The furnace is working fine. I really should have it serviced every year just for nothing else, because they vacuum out all the dust. But I have gone a year before without having it serviced, and it's fine. And the guy last year told me, oh no, your furnace isn't good working. He's like, it's great, it's fine. So I'm not too worried about it. And I will tell you, going back to what I talked about in my other life at home vlog about energy assistance, if you're a low income household and your furnace actually completely dies, they do have a program where they emergency come and fix it for you. They'll come and fix your furnace for you for free, and they're not going to charge you anything or replace it or whatever. So like, we qualify just because I haven't had that phone appointment yet for my energy assistance. And actually my energy bill is due Wednesday, and I don't have the money right now to pay it. And she told me, when I complained about that, I said, I wasn't expecting to have to pay that bill. And she said, don't worry, they can't shut your heat off. So that's another thing where we live. They cannot it's illegal to shut off people's heat during the winter up here. The power companies, they can't, even if you don't pay for months, they cannot shut it off. Now, if you get to spring and you still haven't paid anything, well, then they can shut it off. But when it's cold like this, it's illegal for them to shut off your heat. Burr! Okay, it's really coming down. And it's very cold. My neighbors don't park their cars. They have 3 cars, and they have a lot of stuff in their garage, and they can't fit their cars in the garage, which is really a shame because they have much nicer garage than I do. But they have all 3 cars parked outside, and they're all completely covered in snow. Alright, I am not going very far because I don't want to drive any more than necessary in this weather. I am happy about this though. I hope this stays because because on Saturday we are going up to the cities to do the 2 Christmas drive-through events that we did not get to do last year, that we had tickets to last year and didn't get to do because of my falling and getting hurt. And so I'm excited about that because we get to do those. I hope that the weather is good that day. Like, I don't want it to snow that day because that makes for treacherous driving. But I do hope it stays cold and that this snow stays now, like through Christmas, because it just feels more like Christmas when everything's snow covered. And also I think the lights things will be pretty with the snow on the ground. One disadvantage of having an SUV, I'm not tall enough to get the snow off my roof. I'm sorry, I have to have the wipers on because I can't see. And so as I'm driving, snow blows off my roof behind me, which can be a hazard to the people driving behind you. Where you especially see that is sometimes big, huge things of snow will blow off of the top of a semi on the highway, and that can, like, literally it can blind you temporarily because it'll all land on your car. And so I don't follow too close behind semis in the winter because that's something that can happen. Okay, I'm just going to the library to return these 2 movies, and then I'm picking up lunch from the closest drive-through to our house, which is just a block from the library, because I don't want to go. It's slushy. They have not plowed. I think that they probably are, that there's not enough to plow. Oh, hold on. This is the Presbyterian, no, this is the Methodist church. That's the Presbyterian church. This is the Methodist church, and you can see they have 2 of those little tiny homes behind their church for homeless people to live in. I think they do have to apply and like go through a screening process, but several churches in our town have these. You will also notice I opened the garage door, so when I come back I can just drive straight into the garage. You will also notice I do not have an automatic garage door, which is especially ironic since one of my ex-husband's longtime jobs was he was a garage door installer. So yeah, I'm actually going to leave the car running because it's freezing and there's nobody around. I'm going to trust that nobody's going to steal my car in the next 30 seconds. I just realized I have my lights on. You should always have your lights on when it's precipitating or foggy. A lot of cars are automatic and the lights will go on if it's dim enough, but a lot of people don't turn their lights on when it's snowing or raining because they can see during the day. But it's not about you being able to see, it's so people can see you. I mean, I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. When you go on the highway sometime and it's like raining or snowing and cars are coming the other way and you can't see the cars that don't have their lights on very well. Especially when it's a white or gray car and it just blends in with the scenery. I have my lights on now. Okay. So now we're going to get some lunch. Another tip, turn your windshield wipers off at the drive-thru. There's 2 reasons for that. One is they're loud, and when you're ordering, I turned it off while I was ordering, they might not be able to hear you because of the sound of the wipers. And secondly, I'm almost out of gas. Secondly, when you get up to the window, that's gonna splash the people at the window. That's not nice. So turn your wipers off at the drive-thru so you don't get wetness and snow and ice and rain on the poor people who are working the drive-thru. they're having hard enough time as it is right now. Something I have noticed, you keep reading all these articles about how customers are so horrible to employees especially at fast food restaurants and stores and stuff lately during the pandemic, in the last few years, whatever. Oh, I witnessed a horrifying treatment of a Target employee the other day by a customer. Wow. That's all I'm going to say is wow. That woman, yikes. Okay, anyway, oh, this hill. This hill is scary. It's very steep and it is really slippery. Oh my. I have found, I mean, I'm always very nice to the employees, but I feel like, I don't know if this is just Midwest nice or what, but around where we live, the fast food workers are so nice lately. I mean, like during the pandemic, they're super, super kind and friendly, and maybe I just never paid attention before. I don't know, but they're so nice. I mean, people are like, you have a great day and thank you so much and blessings to you and stuff. I mean, they're just so nice. I mean, they're super nice. So I don't know if that's something with training that they're doing right now, or if that's just how people are where we live. I'm not sure. Another thing, while I was clearing the snow off my car, my dad texted me and said, do you want me to bring you lunch? Well, I just got lunch, so no, but thank you, Dad. And do you need me to come shovel? So he's already anticipating that we're gonna need him to come shovel. I am curious to see what Megan says. If Megan wants to do any shoveling herself, and also, is she gonna take her walk today? Yeah, since she started being so diligent about her daily walks, it hasn't been winter like this. So I'm curious to see what she does. And I wouldn't want my dad to come before like 3 o'clock anyway, so I'll text him back and let him know that, because I don't want him to shovel just to have to come back and shovel again later. Okay, I'm gonna show you going into the scary garage. That's not really a garage. Is shoveling. Okay, the one thing is it's very narrow. Oh shoot, I forgot about the mirrors. I can't fit in the garage unless we fold the side mirrors in. Normally, I forgot because this is the first time I've had to do it. I would have folded the passenger side mirror in before I left, but I forgot. And then I can actually get the driver's side one. I can just roll down my window. But if I don't fold those in, I won't fit. And I have forgotten to fold them in before and broken off a mirror of my van that I had before this car, so. Okay. Okay, we just finished lunch and Megan and I we're on season 3 of Friends, and we watched what, I don't know, is maybe the only Christmas episode? It was the episode where Joey is working at a Christmas tree lot and Phoebe gets really upset because she doesn't like that the trees are being killed to be Christmas trees, and Joey convinces her that the trees are fulfilling their Christmas destiny and that they were born to be Christmas trees. And she gets all traumatized because when she comes to the tree lot to visit him, she sees that they take the old trees that are like dying and getting brown and they chop them up in the wood chipper, and she gets really upset. And so at the end of the episode, Joey and
Monica buy all the old dead trees from the tree lot and fill the apartment with them because they save them and help them fulfill their Christmas destiny to become Christmas trees. And I just thought that was funny because when I came back from running my errands earlier and pulled the car in the garage, my neighbor was out there shoveling. He and I were chatting for a couple minutes, and he told me that they were going to get their Christmas tree. And they have a trailer that they can put it in and everything. And we saw them drive away to go get their Christmas tree. And they get a real tree. And he asked us if we got a real tree or an artificial tree. And I said, we have an artificial tree now. We always used to get a real tree. And I talked about this in my previous Life at Home vlog, but I guess I never said. One of the big reasons now that we have an artificial tree, besides the fact that I no longer have my husband to help me, you know, pick out a tree or cut a tree and bring it home and get it on the car and all that stuff, and the additional cleanup of needles, is because Ben is allergic to real trees. And I kind of suspect that Andrew might be too allergic to real Christmas trees. Not sure about that. Was he allergic to tree pollen? I can't remember. But anyway, it's just a lot easier for us, obviously, to have a artificial tree that we just keep and that sets up and the branches fall down by themselves and it's pre-lit. And that episode of Friends reminded me, because all I could think seeing that, all those older dead trees all over their apartment, was, oh my gosh, there's going to be so many needles. Like, they're going to be cleaning up needles forever. But one of the things I really like about having an artificial tree over a real Christmas tree is not having to water it. I just think having to water a tree is such a pain. When I lived at home with my dad, we had cats, and the cat would drink out of the tree water. Do any of you have cats? What do your cats do with your Christmas tree? I know of people whose cats climb their Christmas trees. They go after the tinsel. They go after the ornaments. How does your cat do with your Christmas tree? Never really had a problem with our dog with the Christmas tree. Shannon never had any issues with the Christmas tree, did she?
I don't think she could fit under it.
No, she was too big. Yeah, she couldn't even fit under the Christmas tree. So we never had any issues. Have you ever had any? Tell us your stories of your pets and your Christmas tree in the comments below. And tell us if you have a real tree or an artificial tree. Or if you've had both, which do you like better? Megan went outside to take some pictures of the snow for a friend of hers in Georgia. She said she was going to take her walk, but... Did you change your mind?
No, I just want to put my phone back.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So you are going to go for your walk?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my god, the mask.
What?
Mask.
Okay, jeez.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Be safe. So she's still going. Oh, she took her hat off. Why'd she do that? So she can put her mask on. See, bonus. She doesn't wear her mask. I mean, there's no people around. She doesn't need her mask for any reason. She wears it because it keeps her face warm. And especially with how windy it is today, that's a good idea. So she gets her mask on. And then she puts her hat back on. Look at the wind. And then she gets her big thick gloves on. This is how we go for walks in winter in Wisconsin. Well, this is timely. My lesson in German today is about weather. And I just learned Es ist windig heute, which is it windy today? Ja. Ist es windig heute?
Ja, es regnet heute.
Ja, es regnet heute. Yes, it is raining today.
Das Wetter ist schlecht heute. Das Wetter ist schlecht heute.
The weather is bad today. Ist es windig? Oop, I flipped it around. It's es ist windig. It is
Oh
windy.
nein, es regnet heute.
Es ist kalt im Winter.
It is cold in winter. Es schneit heute. It is snowing today.
Here comes Megan back from her walk. We'll ask her how it was.
Hello.
Hi, how was it?
Hot.
Hot?
Got a very thick shirt on, lined with Sherpa.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And my winter coat, so.
Was it good to have your mask on, though, because it's windy?
Yeah, even now my nose is running because of the wind and cold.
Yeah, my nose was running when I returned the library movies, too. Just that little bit of getting out of the car.
Yeah.
How was it walking? Was it slippery at all, or is it just the light, fluffy snow?
It's just the fluffy snow, but it's thick to move through. And my hips hurt now.
Oh, from having to walk through the
Yeah.
snow?
And it was weird because when the snow compressed beneath my feet, it sounded like horses clopping. It was like,
Oh,
I don't know, it was weird.
interesting. Cool. Thanks. See, she's wearing she ordered this shirt special
It's got Sherpa.
because it's got Sherpa. Oh, wait, shows the Sherpa. Sherpa lined. This is how you have to dress
Yep.
in winter in Wisconsin.
Lumberjack clothes.
My dad is here now. It's 3:30 in the afternoon, and he is currently shoveling our driveway for us.
So I hope you enjoyed this Life at Home vlog. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We will have those Christmas light experiences that we're going to on Saturday. Those videos will be coming up soon. And then we will have Disney videos coming up very soon. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of those. And give me a thumbs up down below if you liked this video. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you're all having a great day and that you're staying safe and warm. Safe travels!